Welcome back, everybody. Thanks for joining me on my e-commerce journey again. And today I want to talk about e-commerce fulfillment. So I think that this is a really undercovered topic because over the years, I don't really build websites for people so much anymore. I spend my time on my own e-commerce business, but a lot of the people that came to me had no plan for this. And in fact, I had a terrible plan for this when I started my business with my partner. Basically, our plan was sell things. We had a whole marketing plan, an advertising plan. We had a plan to get the stock there. We bought all sorts of interesting things. We signed up with all sorts of platforms, our own website, Etsy, eBay, Amazon, all over the show. And we hadn't thought through the fulfillment part in as much detail as what we should have. And it actually turned out to be quite a challenge. So pretty much what used to happen in the beginning is we would make a sale on one of these platforms. I live in South Africa, my partner's in the UK. So he would have to then go pack the stock and take it to the post office and post it to the customer. And he's a busy guy. And with a business that you want to scale, this really just turned out to be a terrible way to do things. So I'm hoping I can spare you some of my I suppose, aggravation and headaches. So there's actually a few ways that you can do fulfillment. First of all, you've got to think about your business model. You've got to think about what you want to do. Obviously, if you're going to fulfill your products yourself, then you can make a little bit more money perhaps, but you have to physically do it or you have to hire somebody to do it. So there's a whole lot that comes into that. First of all, if you're a small e-commerce business and you're starting out, you probably don't have a warehouse. Okay, so if you don't have a warehouse, you're probably going to be storing your stock in your flat, in your house, wherever you live. Now that's not a problem if you've got very small items, very few items, but once you start to sell more, it suddenly becomes an issue because you wind up with all your cupboards full of stock. So if you're going to do it yourself, you need space for that. You need space for packing materials. Everything has to be packed. It has to be packaged properly. You're talking about boxes, tape, cutting knives. You need to get labels, thermal printers. You need to think about how are you actually going to get your product from your house to your customer. So it's something that you need to give a lot of thought to. Think about when you receive a package. If you order something on Amazon, for example, how does it come? How does it come packed? What's written on the box? How does it actually get to you? What happens if you decide you want to return it to the company? What happens? So you need to give all of this a lot of thought. If you've got your own website, you need to put together your shipping terms and conditions. You need to make sure that your customers understand how it's going to get to them, how long it's going to get to them. If they've got a problem with it, how are they going to return it? What's your returns policy? And fulfillment turned out to be quite a big headache for us. In the end, there are companies that will offer fulfillment for you as a service where you can send your goods to them and they will put it in their warehouse. They will pick it, pack it, label it, ship it, and handle everything for you. They obviously charge a fee for this. Sometimes it's not that practical if you're on a very small budget. But once you hit a certain level of scale, it certainly is. For us, one option that turned out to be exceptionally good was Amazon FBA. I know a lot of people hate it, and I won't lie, there were a lot of headaches getting it started. You're dealing a lot with, really not great support. Very hard to get support if there's an issue, if they lose something or whatever. But by and large, we sold over 7,000 units of our product last year through Amazon FBA, and it's been very, very good. And I'm not here to push Amazon FBA, but I'm here to just share a bit of what was frustrating for me and how we solved the problem. So first of all, Amazon might not even be available in your country. Second of all, you may not want to sell on Amazon. Thirdly, you may not want to pay their fees, but you need to have a plan. I know that Shopify have launched something in the US and Canada that offers fulfillment. I haven't tested it myself. There are companies, if you Google e-commerce fulfillment, you'll probably find quite a few options. We've looked at costings for us, and at the end of the day, it may just be practical for you to pack everything, store everything, and ship it out yourself. It really depends on how much space you have, how much time you have, and what kind of a mission is involved for you. Small things. But for example, if you're starting this e-commerce business and you're busy working in a full-time job, when can you get to the post office to actually send the stuff? So not to say you have to come up with a solution right off the bat, but before you start your e-commerce business, or if you're thinking about starting an e-commerce business, you need to think about fulfillment from the beginning, because you'd be surprised how important it actually is. And the one thing that still shocks me is if somebody comes to me to build them an e-commerce website, they often have a good plan and they found a product they're excited about, and they're very excited to start the business. But if I ask them, how are you going to get where you're going to put your products and where you're going to send them to, and how you're going to send them, what area you're operating in, where do you ship to, they don't really have a clue. So just something to think about. Use it, don't use it. But e-commerce fulfillment. So give it some thought. And if you like the content on this channel and you want to see more of it, then just hit the subscribe button. Cheers.